I had never thought about this at the end of this really difficult chapter. So Genesis 34 is a very difficult chapter. Rape, lies, murder, the whole 9 yards. So as a pastor, these chapters are sometimes hard to preach. It's hard to know what to do. So in studying for this chapter, I was reminded of something that was very, very interesting. John Walton points out in his commentary on this chapter just how close the nation of Israel was to not existing. Now, not because they were going to be wiped out, not because they were going to be killed, but because they were going to intermarry. And so what we see here is that the men of Shechem want to marry and intermarry, and the women, they want to become one people with Jacob, Israel. And you don't really think about how close that was to happening and how close the nation of Israel was to just kind of fading into these other groups. And so at the end of the chapter, Simeon and Levi kill all the males of Shechem. That is decidedly bad. It's not what God intended. We'll talk more about this chapter, but it's not the way God intended for this to go. But in that, what happened was the nation of Israel was solidified as its own. They unknowingly set themselves apart from everybody else, kind of accidentally. And so what his reminder is at the end of a really difficult chapter is God can even use imperfect situations and imperfect people. And he says that is such a blessing to us, because if God couldn't use imperfect people or imperfect things, he wouldn't be able to do anything, because we're all imperfect. And so just kind of an interesting encouragement at the end of a really difficult, dark chapter.